Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Sydney here with you, and it's a Friday afternoon. Bring on the weekend. By the way, this is what masculinity looks like. Irritated skin or no irritated skin. We don't care. Men don't care what other people think. And that's how I live. But what I want to talk to you today is about a young Sydney. Young Sydney who many years ago used to care what people think. Used to care pretty deeply, actually. And my first love, I was introduced to this particular girl at the age of 18. I was just started my first job, and she was a couple of years younger than me. I was 18, so you know, only about 2 years gap. She was still at school, but I was working, you know, instead of going into do year 12, I went out into the workforce.
In 400 meters at the roundabout, take the first exit.
I'm always driving all over the place. You guys know this. So what I wanted to talk about is, upon reflection, because it's been so long since I've actually thought about this, and you know, man, I'm so far over it that, you know, if you were to say her name in conversation, it wouldn't even twig that I used to date a girl called her. No, her name is Natasha. Let me tell you about Natasha. She was a cute little blonde, and she was someone that I was absolutely smitten with. She took my virginity, although interestingly, she wasn't a virgin. She'd already slept with a couple of guys before me. So I guess that's not a surprise knowing what I know now. And you know, we were together for probably a good maybe 5-6 months, something like that, before her parents intervened and basically wouldn't let us see each other. And I was mates with this guy called Neil. His name's Neil Bell. Now, if you guys know a Neil Bell, and he used to come from a small country town that had a discount shop, punch him in the face when he's a motherfucker. But you know, he wasn't the only party at play there. You know, he was just a simp who wanted to get his rocks off with this cute girl that I happen to be dating, right? We see this all the time, guys trying to fuck girls that some other dude's dating. And you know, it's the nature of the game, you know, it's the hierarchy that we live in. It is the game of reproduction. You know, this is something that's so deeply wired into us that we don't even realize until later in life, when we see everything for what it is. Now, there was a few things about us. So, you know, she took my virginity, and we had, like, looking back on it, I was such a fucking simp. Like, I actually found a letter that I wrote to her when I was 18 the other day. So this is a 20-year-old letter. And I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. What I used to write. You know, get this. I used to call, our genitals used to have nicknames. Like, this is how pathetic it was back then, before I realized what I know now. And claimed my masculinity. And, well, because I'm a man, I inherently am masculine to begin with. It's just that some people are more masculine than others. But, you know, I claimed my alpha status, you know. Man, this is so embarrassing to even admit this. I used to call my dick's nickname was Twinkie, and her vagina's nickname was Rose. Yeah, I know, you're thinking, Sydney, you're a fucking simp. It's like, yes, I was, I know, all right? Cut me some fucking slack, bro. It was 2 decades ago. But I'm much older and much wiser now. All right, that's how much of a simp I was. And I was saying, oh, Twinkie, Mrs. Rose, in the letter. I'm like, you fucking serious, Sydney? What drugs were you on, boy? Like, hell, man. I was such a cuckold back then, honestly. I didn't even know it. Until my best friend fucked my bitch. And I'm calling her a bitch because it is kind of a bitch move to go fuck the best friend of your boyfriend. Right? Just saying. And the way that I found out about this is because he actually came over to my house. And he took me to the place that he fucked her. And he showed me the condom still laying on the ground, half filled with fucking day-old jizz. Right? Guys. Oh, by the way, Harvester of Sorrow, I've never been on the roids, bro. So, now, I've never, ever, 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 ever cried the way I cried when I found out about this. When I found out that this girl that I loved had done this to me. I was so heartbroken because I'd been nothing but good to her. I lost my virginity to her. I thought we were going to be happy together forever. And for probably the best part of 6 months until I got over it, I just couldn't stop thinking, where did I go wrong? What did I do? Right? Why did this happen to me? How could they? But now that I have all this knowledge, that I have this understanding of female nature that I never had back in the day, I've realized that it was just a straight monkey branch. That's all it was. Right? He had a job. He worked at his parents' store. He had his own place. He had albeit a shitty car, right? And he was a little bit better looking than me. When I reflect on it, like, no homo, but you know, if you sort of put two people side by side, you can generally tell who's the more physically attractive of the two. Right? So he's more physically attractive. He's got a job, work at his parents' shop, so it's almost like he's got his own business in the eyes of a young girl, right? Whereas I was working for somebody else, right? He's got his own car. Like, he's got all this stuff going for him and stuff that I didn't have going for me at the time. And I didn't so much see that as an obstacle, right? Like, those things didn't even come into play for me. It wasn't even a consideration for me, right? I wasn't sitting there going, man, I should have got myself a car and then this wouldn't have happened. No, of course not. I'm an 18-year-old dude. I'm trying to work out what the fuck just went wrong. All right? So, you know, this is the thing. And you know, this girl was like 16, I was 18, you know, we were both very young at the time. And already she was starting to get on the carousel and monkey branching. And it's funny, right? Because she actually went from this dude, right, dated this dude, and then she monkey branched onto someone else. And at the time I was like, the funny thing is, right, the dude that actually, like the guy who was my mate, he ended up getting monkey branched from when she went to the next dude. And he was probably sitting there going, what the hell just happened? But he'd had more experience than me, so it probably didn't hit him as hard. But damn, it hit me so hard when it happened. And I was like, I just couldn't understand it. But guys, as you saw in my video the other day about the mainstream media enabling and encouraging monkey branching and hypergamy, you will actually have caught that bit where the woman says, oh, we've all got, they were basically using potential male partners, using toasters as a metaphor, right? And saying, well, you know, if you've got a relationship or a toaster and the toaster breaks, don't you just fix it? That's what we used to do. And this chick actually admitted, she goes, well, you know, all girls have got a spare toaster ready to go. So she basically admitted that all girls have got someone that's waiting to get up in their pants, you know, and all they've got to do is just give the green flag. And this is how it is nowadays, guys. You've got Tinder, you've got Plenty of Fish, you know, and these are all terrible places to meet anyone, by the way, to any of you girls and guys here. Terrible places to meet anyone unless you want to just fuck and move on. So, you know, back then you didn't have Tinder, you didn't have Plenty of Fish, you didn't have social media, right? You didn't have Bumble, you didn't have adult matchmaking, you didn't have actually Madison.com, right? You didn't have Snapchat, right? You didn't have plastic surgery. He didn't have all these club sluts the same way you do now. He didn't have so many simps because you actually had men, because more people had fathers around, because feminism hadn't ripped the fathers out of homes, right? And this is just the way it is, guys. It's the way it's always been. And if you've ever been screwed over by a woman, understand that it's female nature based on how she felt and how she perceived things to be. All right. Good to see you, Paul Slack. Glad that you could catch the stream. Thank you for your comments in all my videos. And you know, guys, you hear the phrase, treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen. You hear that all the time. You also hear people saying, you know, you need to keep a woman in check. And I'm not saying that, you know, you need to dominate a woman. You really don't. But you need to subconsciously establish where you sit in the hierarchy of things, right? You need them to know that you're the man, right? And if someone comes along and shows that they're more of a man than you, then that person is going to get her attention, and her attention is going to be diverted from you. Make no mistake, men. It is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when, because at some point there's always going to be someone that has a higher sexual market value than you for whatever reason, right? Even if it's purely superficial, right? Even if it's purely superficial, always going to be someone with a higher sexual market value than you. It is crazy. So don't think it won't happen. It doesn't matter how alpha you are. It doesn't matter how good your body is. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much property you have, right? Assets are just opportunities for women, right? And I'm not saying that they're going to go after these opportunities purely because they exist, but that doesn't make them any less of an opportunity, right? Understand this. Know this, process it. It's very important. Right? And human beings are inherently opportunistic, guys. Right? Like, don't tell me there haven't been some of you in this stream right now watching this live that have been dating a girl at some point, and then another girl has come along who either looks just as good but knows how to cook and gives massages, right? Whereas your girlfriend might not cook and might not give massages, right? A girl who's got a nicer car than your girlfriend, right? A girl who doesn't ask you to pay their registration, unlike your girlfriend, right? There's always better options out there for us as well, guys, especially if our sexual market value is high, especially then. Sorry guys, someone just called me. Really need to turn Truecaller off. Really need to do that. Yeah, so if your sexual market value is high, then you've got more options. Right? It's just that you're less likely to act on them if your partner's being good to you. Right? Because men cheat for different reasons, right? If we've got a pretty good partner and we're having pretty good sex, we're probably not going to cheat. Right? We might have a pretty good partner and not get any sex for 3 years. We're probably going to cheat. Right? And if you got a girl who's got a pretty good partner and she hasn't had sex for 3 years, oh, you better believe she's cheated way before that. Way before that. Right? And a significant amount of relationships now are being formed online. It's a really bad place to be forming them. All right? And you got to wonder, right? Do they actually love you, or do they love their feelings, right? Another guy gives them a better feeling, you're out. And actually, if you guys go and check out my video that I did yesterday on Carousel Cassidy on the Love Island, aka Hypergamy Island, right? She actually really liked this dude Josh, and they were getting along well, and she was feeling the chemistry, and all of a sudden this guy Dom walks into the house, and straight away she knew she wanted his dick instead. Straight away, right? There wasn't even a warm-up period. She's just like, I want to fuck this guy. Don't believe me? Go and watch the stream, right? I actually played back the video on my other phone for you live, so you can hear her say it straight from the horse's mouth. Right, if you want to take that first S out, be my guest. Right, so it kind of shortens horses, just without the first S, if you know what I'm saying. So guys, and look, I know I got some young guys watching this stream, even as young as 18, and I want to let you guys know that when shit happens, pick it up and move it on. I'm telling you guys, let me be very clear about this. If you look after yourself, if you work on yourself, by the time you are 30, you are going to be drowning in a sea of women. I'm telling you, drowning in a sea of women. Even if you're not overly, even if you're like average looking dude, right? From 18 to 30, if you work on yourself, if you focus on yourself, if you build resources, if you stay fit, you'll be swimming in pussy by the time you're 30, right? And I'm not saying that, you know, you should do that for the purposes of drowning in pussy by the time you're 30. Far from it. Do it for yourself. Right, do it as a big fuck you to everyone that turned their back on you when you were 18, right? All the girls who went with Chad down the road, right? Because he had bigger biceps, or he had a nicer car, or he took her on more dates, or, you know, he had blue eyes and you had brown eyes, or he had brown eyes and you had blue eyes, whatever reason it is that she felt that she wanted to monkey branch on and upgrade to that newer model or that guy that she thought was better. Right, the fact that guy is getting all the pussy then, right, that actually shortens his shelf life, because what happens to that man is he thinks, just like women do, right, who get lots of validation. If a guy gets lots of validation, he'll think, oh, I can just get girls anytime I want. It's like the old tortoise and the hare story, guys. If you rest, doesn't matter how quick you can run ahead. If you get lazy, if you rest, you're going to end up losing the race, right? Whereas if you don't get lazy and you don't rest and you keep pushing through and you keep powering through and you keep making shit happen, right? You keep making it work, right? You keep firing, you keep fighting to build yourself up as a man. Build yourself up, respect yourself, right? Look in the mirror and fucking admire yourself and say, you know what? I'm worth putting time and effort into. Right? And I'm not going to divert that time and effort into someone who doesn't care about me or who's going to leave me. Because, guys, I'm telling you, over 90, right? Mate, you think that the amount of divorces is high? Right? You only get divorced once or twice or 3 times if you're really fucking stupid and keep getting married. But the amount of times that a woman will break up with you in your life, right? If it's water off a duck's back, guys, you will get stronger every single time. Believe me, I've been there. I know. Right, to the point where you will have girls knocking on your door. And that's not to say that you should open the door for everyone, right? Be very selective about who you let in. If you're going to let someone in, if you're going to date, if you're going to cohabit with anyone, which I recommend you don't, but whatever, you know, like, I can't stop you. I'm just, you know, like, at least I can do is give you advice if you choose to do that. Right? So don't think, right? Just every time something bad happens, right? Say, all right, cool. Every time something bad happens, I'm going to use this as justification and as motivation to build myself, to climb that ladder, right? To increase my status. Right? Right? Buy that new car for you, if you so choose to. But I would strongly suggest buying a low kilometers used car that costs you a lot less than a new car. Right? So just be aware. And guys, I'm going to strongly suggest to you, and I'm going to put the link to this in the video afterwards, right? It's actually just an email address. But if you are a young guy and you're wondering what's going on with women, and if you're wondering why it is that you put all your time and effort into them, right? That you pay for stuff, and they still don't appreciate it, and they still move on, and they still monkey branch onto the next dude, right? If you can't understand why this is happening, you need to flick your boy Sydney an email, right? Because I want to get you a copy of Stand Up Men's ebook. Haven't spoken about it for a while, but it is $10 money back guarantee. I don't take the money from that. I just pass any inquiries on the Stand Up Men, because this book is dynamite and it will teach you everything that you need to know, everything you never knew about female psychology and how they engage in relationships, right? And why they monkey branch, and what it is that attracts them, and what it is that actually makes them respect you more, right? Because if you have the respect of a woman, she's far less likely to cheat on you. If she doesn't respect you, she'll be sucking someone else's dick, right, underneath the desk while you sit in front of that person asking for advice, right? She'll be sucking your lawyer off right in the middle of your divorce, right, to try and milk more out of you, right? Almost like a big fuck you and suck shit. Look what I'm doing to you, and you can't do anything about it. So get yourself a copy of that book. Send me an email, sydneymigtow@gmail.com, and I'll make sure that I put you in touch with Stand Up Men. What's good, Winners Leaders? How you doing, buddy? By the way, Winners Leaders is absolute champion. A really good message about masculinity and positive manhood. So if you haven't already followed him, go over and check out his channel. Good to see you, Winners Leaders. And thank you for joining in. And thank you so much for that generous $3 donation, MGTOW, Menace Archives. I haven't seen you for a while, Menace. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Are men like dogs and women like cats? Cats will become friends with who has the most food or attention. That is a very, very, very good point. Very good point indeed. And Harvester of Sorrow says, hey Sydney, how do you think about opening a gym now with this Me Too be worth it? I think opening a gym, right? Opening a gym, all right, it's one of the best times in history, in my personal opinion, to open a gym, because you've got simps left, right, and center trying to get female attention by looking hotter, and you've got women left, right, and center trying to look hotter so they can monkey branch, right? You actually have women paying you so that they can monkey branch, right? And then because you're the guy with the gym and you're the guy with the money, you actually have a higher sexual market value and you get fit at the same time. I think it's a fantastic idea. My cousin's actually got 3 F45 gyms and he is killing it. Like he's got the rake and he's just like raking it in. Just like all the money is over there, he's just raking it in, right? So do that if you can, Harvester of Sorrow. I think it's a great idea. Fantastic idea. If you want to make it a men's shared gym, Harvester of Sorrow, then I encourage you to do that as well. All total coaching. Yeah, there's a free ebook as well, Manhood Academy 101. Stand Up Men has got a copy of that as well, and he can hook you up with that if you get in touch with him. I think his email address is yourlifetoday1@gmail.com. So yeah, get onto that and ask him for a free copy if it tickles your fancy. But definitely get a copy of his $10 ebook on female psychology and dating. Anyway, guys, look, if things haven't worked out for you in relationships, educate yourself by the free ebook Manhood 101. Check out Stand Up Men's ebook by emailing him at yourlifetoday1@gmail.com. It is a fantastic ebook and it is well worth every single penny and more. It will change your life even more than your life may have already been changed by having MGTOW knowledge and taking the red pill. Anyway, guys, I'm actually going to follow this up with another live stream back to back. But for now, on this topic about my first girlfriend, now that I realize what it was that I was doing, how much of a simp I was being, that it was just a simple monkey branch and that she did what was inherently in her nature, I'm not even mad about it. I haven't been mad about it for years, but this has just given me a whole new level of peace and understanding about it. And it's just made me so grateful that I took the red pill and that I discovered MGTOW so that I can help you guys to understand female nature as well. And I'm not mad at females for for being this way, right? I'm just mad at myself for not knowing about it earlier. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna bounce for now. Good to see you all. I look forward to soon, but please understand, your sexual market value will hit its absolute peak once you hit about 27. If you've been working on yourself, it will skyrocket upwards at the same time as other women's is going down. Good to see you, Paul Slack, Harvester of Sorrow, Winners Leaders, and everyone else in the box. I appreciate you all so much. And if you have still got a little bit more time, check me out on my follow-up stream. I'm going to be hitting it live in about 5 minutes, and I will see you all soon. Peace.